Good morning, students. So today we are going to start very interesting and very important topic of our chemistry, hybridization. So we are going to discuss only two types of hybridizations in this particular session, that is sp hybridization and sp2 hybridization. Okay. Now, first of all, what is hybridization? So, a scientist named Pauling, he introduced this concept of hybridization, and what it is? It is the process of intermixing of the orbitals of slightly different energies so as to redistribute their energies, resulting in the formation of a new set of orbitals of equivalent energy and shape. Now see, what is the process? In this process, we have to intermix two or more orbitals which should be either of equal energy or there will be slightly different difference in their energies, and then the total energy will be redistributed to form a new set of orbitals. Those new set of orbitals will have same shape and same energy. Okay. Now see, suppose I am talking about sp3 hybridizations. So what does it mean? It means that one s orbital and three p orbitals. Total how many are there? 4. One is s orbital and 3 are p orbitals. So total 4 orbitals are combining, and then they will result in 4 new orbitals, and those 4 new orbitals will be termed as sp3 hybridized orbitals. Okay. Okay, so what are the different features of hybridization? What are salient features that we will discuss first? Okay, now see, first of all, the number of hybrid orbitals is equal to the number of atomic orbitals that get hybridized. Just like I said now, that when we are saying sp3 hybridization, then it means how many orbitals are combining? 1s and 3 p orbitals are combining. So 4 are combining, then 4 only will be formed. The new orbitals formed will be termed as hybrid orbitals or hybridized orbitals. So what is the first point? As many orbitals are combining, that many orbitals are going to formed. Okay. Now the hybridized orbitals are always equivalent in energy and shape. This is what we said earlier. They all will be having same energy and same shape. Okay. The hybrid orbitals are more effective in forming stable bonds than the pure atomic orbitals. Okay, so very important thing is that if pure atomic orbitals combine to form a bond, then that bond will not be that much effective as it will be formed by hybridized orbitals. Okay. Now one more important thing, these hybrid orbitals are directed in space in some preferred directions. Just like we said in VSEPR theory that electron pairs are directed in space in such directions that there is minimum repulsion between the electron pairs and there is stable arrangement. Similar is the case here with the hybridized orbitals. Okay, so just like we said there for electron pairs, here we are saying for hybridized orbitals. Okay, so if we remember shapes according to VSEPR theory, then we remember the shapes according to hybridization also. Okay. Now, what are the important conditions which must be there so that hybridization occurs? Okay. The orbitals present in the valence shell of the atom are hybridized. Now, which orbitals will be taken? Those orbitals will be taken which are present in the valence shell. Okay. Now, the orbitals undergoing hybridization should have almost equal energy. Almost equal energy means in the energy level diagram, they should not be very far from each other. If they are very far from each other, then there will be a lot of gap of energy between them. So they should be nearby. Just like if 2s is there, then 2p should be there, because after 2s, 2p comes. Okay. So there should be very less difference in their energies. Okay. Now next thing, promotion of electron is not essential condition prior to hybridization. Means if there is presence of electron in an orbital, then that will remain there itself during the hybridization process. Okay. Now it is not necessary that only half filled orbitals participate in hybridization. Just like in bond formation, what we said that bond will only be formed if there is presence of half filled orbital and both the electrons are in opposite spin. This is what we said for the covalent bond formation. But in case of hybridization, there may be vacant orbital, there may be fully filled orbital, or there may be half filled orbital which is involved in the process of hybridization. Okay. Now let us discuss first of all sp hybridization. Okay, sp hybridization. Now what does it mean? What is written sp? It means one s orbital and one p orbital. They will be combining, they will mix together and they will form two new equivalent orbitals. The type of hybridization is called sp hybridization or diagonal hybridization. Okay, the new orbitals formed are called sp hybridized orbitals. For example, BeCl2. In case of BeCl2, which hybridization occurs? sp hybridization occurs. Now in this diagram you can check how it happens. Now see, when we take s orbital, it is like this. When we take p orbital, then all the three will come there. Okay, because they are degenerate, they are having same energy, so all three will be there. How many are getting mixed? They will be called hybridized orbitals, and those which are not getting used, they will be termed as unhybridized. So in this case what happens, one s and one p orbital combines and these two remain as unhybridized orbitals. Their shape will remain as it is. Okay, that will not change. But when these two are combining, then their shape will change. And how a hybridized orbital looks like? Hybridized orbital looks like this. Okay, there are two loops. One is bigger loop and another is smaller loop. The bigger loop is designated by positive sign. This is designated by negative sign. Okay. So here this type of two hybridized orbitals will be formed. Now those two orbitals will be aligned in such a way that there is maximum distance between them. Now see how we can write them. See, this is one, the other one how will be writing? This way. Okay, so in this way one is in this direction, another is in this direction, and this is internuclear axis. So there is bond angle of 180 degree. It is just like same in Vesper theory for two bond pairs. Okay, so if you remember Vesper theory properly, then hybridization shapes will be very easy. So here two sp hybridized orbitals are aligned in this fashion and there is bond angle of 180 degree. Okay, now what are the different postulates of sp hybridization? The suitable orbitals for sp hybridization are s and pz. Now see, when there are three orbitals with p, then which orbital is to be taken? Now since z axis is taken as internuclear axis, so we will take pz. Okay, now there are only two orbitals, so what is their s character? 50% is s character and 50% is p character. Okay, such molecule in which central atom is sp hybridized and linked directly to two other central atoms possesses linear geometry. So if sp hybridization is there, one central atom is there and two surrounding atoms are there, then there will be a linear geometry. Okay, this type of hybridization is also known as diagonal hybridization. So sp hybridization is also known as diagonal hybridization. The two sp hybrid orbitals, the two sp hybrids point in the opposite direction. Sp hybrids mean two sp hybridized orbitals. Their direction will be opposite direction along the z-axis, projecting positive loops and very small negative loops. So see, this is the shape of one hybridized orbital. This is negative loop and this is positive loop. Okay, so these are directed in the opposite direction. Now let us consider this example, beryllium chloride, BeCl2. Be has electronic configuration, this atomic number is 4. Now when we talk about excited state, then it comes out to be 1s2, 2s1, 2p1. Now what happens? The atom undergoes sp hybridization involving the mixing of 2s and 2p orbitals. Okay, the two half-filled sp hybrid orbitals are formed, which are arranged linearly. These half-filled sp orbitals form two sigma bonds with two Cl atoms, and hence the linear shape of BeCl2 is formed with the bond angle 180 degree. Okay, now see, this is s orbital, this is p orbital. Which one is to be taken? Z, pz. So those two will be arranged like this. Now what does it mean? It means that beryllium, which was existing as this, became this in its excited state, and then it has undergone sp hybridization, and after sp hybridization beryllium atom has changed into this form. Okay, now this is beryllium atom. This thing is representing beryllium atom. This is beryllium atom which has undergone sp hybridization. Now these two loops are available this way and this way, which these are available with 1 electron for the bond formation. Now what happens? The pz orbital of Cl, which contains 1 electron, that undergoes head-on collision. There is head-on collision with these two loops of beryllium, and then there is formation of sigma bond. This sigma bond is formed. So now what we are getting, Be makes one sigma bond with one Cl and another sigma bond with another Cl. So there is 2-3 things we can check. First thing, beryllium has undergone sp hybridization. Second thing, the hybrid orbitals have aligned themselves in the linear fashion. Third thing, the pz orbital of chlorine containing unpaired electron undergoes head-on collision with hybridized orbitals, and there is formation of sigma bond, and again the whole geometry of the molecule is linear. Okay, so this is formation of BeCl2. Now let us come to sp2 hybridization. Again definition will be same always. Okay, so what we will say? We will say that when one s orbital and two p orbitals combine to form three new hybridized orbitals, then those hybridized orbitals are called sp2 hybridized orbitals, and this hybridization is called sp2 hybridization. Okay, now when three orbitals are combining, then three new orbitals are formed. Now those three will be arranged similarly as three bond pairs are arranged. How three bond pairs are arranged? They are arranged in the trigonal pyramidal geometry, trigonal planar geometry. So there is angle of 120 degree. Okay, and so what we will say, in sp2 hybridization there is formation of trigonal planar geometry with each bond angle equal to 120 degree. Okay, so this way one s orbital and these two, this one and this one, two are forming, and this is remaining as unhybridized. Okay, so 1s and 2p orbital, these three are combining. Okay, and the bond angle is 120 degree. Okay, now let us discuss with one example. If we take an example of boron trichloride BCl3, then ground state configuration of boron is this. In excited state it becomes like this. So in case of boron, there is presence of 1 electron in 2s orbital and in 2px orbital and in 2py orbital. So there are 3 unpaired electrons in these 3 orbitals. These 3 will combine and there will be sp2 hybridization. Okay, and 3 orbitals will be formed which are called hybridized orbitals, and our boron atom will look like this. Okay, it is just like this. Okay, these 3 orbitals are like this: 1, 2 and 3. Okay, they are like this. Okay, now these are available for bond formation. This can also form bond, this can also form bond, this can also form bond. Now there are 3 atoms of chlorine. They will come, the unpaired electron in p orbital of Cl atom, that will undergo head-on collision with boron 3 hybridized orbitals, and there will be formation of geometry which is trigonal planar geometry. Okay, now you can see like this, the 3 sigma bonds. Now see, 3 sigma bonds, how they are formed? 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals, they overlap with 3 p orbitals of chlorine. Okay, there are 3 p orbital, means 1 p orbital comes from 1 chlorine atom. There are 3 chlorine atoms, so 3 p orbitals will come. Okay, so this is boron, and this one is chlorine, this one is chlorine, this one is chlorine. Now this, what we are seeing here, is known as ball and stick model of BCl3. This geometry is trigonal planar. Okay, now whatever we have discussed, on the basis of that you have to complete this home assignment. Okay, thank you.